welcome everybody. My name is Ville Ollikainen and I'm a research team leader here at VTT, Technical Research Centre of Finland. Applied cryptography is the name of the team, and what I'm presenting today is about a recommendation service we have made for the TANGO project. So we have made a tourist application. It looks like this. So it is an app, mobile app, which has different offerings from the location that you are visiting on your holidays. And this has the magic of recommending you the most important things you might be interested in are first in the list. So this is what is the recommendations here all about. How we have done this is, as it says, that there's a privacy first. We have designed this privacy by design so that none of your personal information is leaked out to any service or anything. And secondly, there's the convenience of use, that this is designed to be very simple, easy to use. So now some words about recommenders in general. So there are two types of recommenders. So one type of the recommender is based on the item properties, so that if we have different items, whoever puts them and presents them, they have to make somehow the metadata, the descriptions of the items. And that's actually quite labor intensive if you have several items available there. The other approach, what we are using here, is so-called collaborative filtering, which is actually based on the behavior of users like yourself. And a typical example is like users who bought this also viewed that. So these kind of things are collaborative recommenders. But what comes to the state-of-the-art recommendation engines, collaborative recommendation engines, is that they need some sort of locking user behavior so that they can then match that, okay, users who bought this also bought that. They must have a record of it. What we have done here in the TANGO is that no such recording is necessary. So in the TANGO specifically, we have made this recommendation service, this tourist service, as a distributed architecture, which means that the user data here in this service, it is only in the user's mobile phone. So if you are a tourist, just feel safe. Nobody is recording your personal data anywhere. Everything stays within your phone. And since your data is on the phone, then the vendors on the other side who are making these offerings for tourists, they can cooperate and collaborate because they don't have any user data there that would be under the European privacy laws like GDPR. So this is GDPR compliant by nature. How does it work? I have one animation here to show you as very principles there. So on the right hand side, we have 3 offerings. This is like a library example. 3 offerings. There are 3 books. There is Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Then there is organic farming, mini farming book there. And then there is a 3rd book, which is called Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And on the right hand side, we have one user who is reading these books. And now all the items here and all the users on the other side, they have a small storage which contains random numbers, which we call VRNs, the volatile random numbers. And these are all recommendations are based on these random numbers. So whenever this lady shows some interest in Crime and Punishment or Pride and Prejudice, clicking those books in the offering list, what happens there, that it is then copying some of these random numbers from the users repository to the items repository, and vice versa. In the beginning, there is only one in each, so they are copying those back and forth. And the same happens with Pride and Prejudice. Now, eventually, these two, which have similar users, they tend to have similar random numbers in their collections. Let's call them random number collections. When there is another user who has similar reading habits as this user Y over here, exactly the same happens. So his collection actually gets these random numbers from these items, these offerings that he is clicking. And when he has the similar behavior, similar ways, similar interests, also the VRNs, the random numbers in his collection start to resemble the random numbers of this user Y on the top. So when he comes then to the library and checks that what might be there for me, and assuming that he has not read before this Crime and Punishment and Pride and Prejudice, but lots of other books that also this lady on the top has been reading, he will be recommended Crime and Punishment and Pride and Prejudice because of the similarity of those random number collections. So the idea here in the recommender is that we are letting the users to search for items, offerings that have similar random numbers as the random numbers is in their own collections. So now I have an example here what we have done, the tourist recommendation service on my mobile phone. So you see here, this is a pilot we made in Mallorca. So here are the tourist attractions offerings for the tourists in the Mallorca region. And as you see, they are more or less like in a random number. There are beaches there are old town, some historic events, what to see there. And then there are also some buildings and stuff in the beginning. So what happens here if I just click, let's say, old town here, Alcudia old town, it gives me the page, but at the same time this copies some of the random numbers from my collection to the collection of this Alcudia old town collection on the vendor side, and also from there some random numbers to my personal random number collection. So if I do this a couple of times, click similar things like I would like to see the cathedrals here. This is learning quickly, extremely quickly. I start to get the list which shows the architectural buildings here. As you see in the top of the list, there is no more beaches in the beginning. If I would have been searching for beaches in the beginning, then it would probably show the beaches there on the top of my list. So this is roughly how it is working. And I want to highlight that none of my personal information is going anywhere. And this is just as easy to take into use as you just saw. This was the first time I was using the service in this particular phone. This is learning quickly. So I would say that the benefits for the tourist, as you see, this is extremely easy to use. You don't have to type in any profiling or to just do any secret stuff or preparing things or installing anything. This is working online if you wish. It is also providing the tourists to stay private. So many of us don't want anyone to track us, and this is exactly what this doesn't do. So all the data, once again, are in my own mobile phone. For the companies, this is easy to deploy. This is a web service, And also when you are putting more and more items there, you don't have to make any descriptions of the items. Just put it there, and the users like me, they are like getting the similar recommendations without any metadata, without anything. You just provide the text and the picture, and that's it. Also, what is important in this service is that your offerings, so if you are a company or someone who is providing things for the tourist, that your company also benefits from learning the user interest in general. So as you saw there were different tourist attractions, the buildings there, and they were learning. They were in the same service. So you can assume that if you would have a separate recommendation service for, let's say, your region and your particular location, the offerings would be limited there. But this gives like a 360-degree view of the user interest when the recommendations are created. And also the companies with similar offerings, they can cooperate, which means that they are improving their visibility in the recommender. And as the last point is that this is a very simple thing. We are made it in a way that it is actually quite reliable. And as a result, for the simplicity, it is also a low-cost approach that we are offering. So if anybody is interested, then don't hesitate to contact me here. So here is my contact information, ville.ollikainen@vtt.fi, and here's the phone number. We would be happy to talk with you. Many thanks. Bye-bye.